JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 18th of April 2022. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website. And if you click here on the top, JFD Research, it will take you to this page, which is updated on a daily basis. And yeah, I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here for yourselves, guys. So now then, guys, jumping into the charts, let's start off with a Nikkei 225 and looking at this picture here. You can see that today Nikkei is trading kind of just slightly below its 21-day EMA, below this this tentative downside resistance line. In general, I mean, it's still kind of far away from the current lowest point of April, after we saw this nice beautiful bounce here last week. But again, at this point, I mean, I will take a bit of a careful approach here, because in a way, if you're looking for some downside, let's say further downside, then I would rather stick to this 26,304 zone, which is, as I said, the current lowest point of April. And then if a nice good drop below it, yeah, would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. So that's why for now, I mean, even with the upside here, it's also a little bit difficult, because, I mean, at the moment, Nikkei is sitting below all of its EMAs, and of course that could be seen as a bit of a bearish indication. The only positive, well, not only, but one of the positive things here to consider is this short-term tentative upside support line. As you can see here, or actually it's not even going to be anymore not a tentative anymore, because we had that test. So today, kind of when the index drifted lower, we tested that upside line taken from the low of the 9th of March, and now if we do go higher here, I mean, there is a potential for this one to maybe to move higher. However, still a confirmation break here would be needed, like for example a break of this downside line, the one that I just mentioned, and a push above that 27,215 zone right here. So a nice good pop above it, yep, may open the door towards slightly higher levels, but I will only aim for this other downside line, because let's not forget that overall we're still trading below this medium-term downside resistance line taken from the high of the 14th of September. And yeah, so this could still, you know, play out nicely here for these sellers later on, of course, but not. But at the moment, let's keep an eye on some of the levels. And yeah, as I said, for the upside, I'm keeping an eye on this 27,215 area. For the downside, to 26,304 level right here. Now, Shanghai Composite, guys. So it did open lower today. Initially drifted to the downside, but managed to recover somewhat, and still trading, and still it's managed to recover and managed to kind of fill up this gap. But as you can see, the index is still trading in negative territory for the day. So we still have around like 50 something minutes minutes left of trading here, so again, let's see what's going to happen today. However, I believe that it might stay somewhere around here. The good thing here for the bulls is that we're still holding on to this hurdle, this 3,160 zone, which, if you remember, I talked about this already last week, and I said that let's keep an eye and let's wait and see if, or in general, let's see if this is not going to end up being somewhat of a range. At the moment, it seems kind of that it is. You can see that also I've talked about this 3,226 level, which is the midpoint of this range, and we did initially try to overcome it. We did at one point pop above it, but at the end of the day it kind of just still drifted back down, and yeah, we didn't really get that, you know, strong move above this midpoint of this within this range. And we drifted back down. So okay, so this is kind of working out. Now, like I said, the question is, can we hold to this lower side of this range? If we can, then maybe a bit of a, you know, a rebound again to the upside could be possible. However, either way, I will still keep an eye on that midpoint of this range. If we climb above it, then yes, I will aim for the upper side of the range, which is roughly around that 3,280 zone. This, by the way, this upside line needs to go, or I can actually redraw it, I think. Let me just see if this is going to make any sense. There we go. Well, it seems like, yeah, so far it does. This downside resistance line taken from the high of the 3rd of March could be something to keep an eye on, as you can see here, because everything played out nicely. So when the index did travel higher towards this midpoint of this range, it kind of almost tested this downside line and then reversed back down. Okay, so it seems like, yeah, a lot of things are kind of, you know, shaping up nicely here. Now, certainly according to this new picture right now, maybe there is a chance, you know, to see some further declines. However, guys, I mean, and well, of course, we could see this one being maybe as a descending triangle pattern here. But again, either way, it doesn't matter if it's a descending triangle or it's if it's a range here. I mean, if we're looking for some lower levels, then still, you know, a confirmation break through this area would be needed. And in terms of actually the upside as well, I mean, if it climbs above this midpoint of this range, then yeah, it would also be above this downside line, and yeah, potentially more buyers could join in. Quickly on the German index. So the German index will be closed today, but let's see what's happening right now on the cash index. The US is going to be open, but Germany, yeah, will be closed. Now, in terms of the DAX, to be honest, not much activity here. And even on the cash index, yeah, I cannot see anything happening. Okay, right. I will say it this way, that I will stick to, when we open up tomorrow, it's going to be quite interesting to see if we actually, you know, move to the downside here again. If we, let's say, this idea that I talked about previously, that keeping an eye on this downside line taken from the high of the 5th of January, and if it continues to provide resistance, then yeah, certainly yes, another decline could be possible. If you are a little bit on the careful side, and you know you need a little bit more reassurance, then first of all, of course, keep your eyes on this 14,100 area that I talked about previously. If we drop below it, then my next target is the current lowest point of April, near the 13,887 mark. But if that gets cleared, of course, certainly this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. So keep that in mind. For the upside, pretty straightforward. A break of this downside line is needed, and then maybe, just maybe an additional push above this 14,603 territory could do the trick here for a few more buyers. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, I talked about this one on Friday. And yeah, I said that basically on the 14th, on Thursday, when it traded last time, it pushed higher. It broke this downside line taken from the high of the 30th of March, and but then actually kind of created this nice false breakout and drifted back down. If we take a look at the cash index right now, we'll see that the that the index did drift to the downside a little bit. It's currently sitting at around 34,400 level, but still in this area, this whole area right here, the one that I talked about previously. So in other words, we're still below this downside line, but we're still above this 3,479 territory. I spoke about this area previously, so in order to go for lower levels, maybe a drop below that hurdle would be needed. In terms of the upside, I will take a bit of a conservative approach here, and I do understand that I could be missing out on a bit of territory, but I will get a little bit more comfortable on a push above this 34,889 zone right here. In a way, you could also start looking at some higher levels if we pop above this 100-day EMA shown as the green line, because we would be placed above all of the EMAs, and potentially this could be seen by some of the market participants as a positive sign. So nevertheless, I cannot stress the importance, for example, of having a stop loss, because for example it could push higher, but if it fails to overcome this high, the 34,889 level, then yeah, it could just reverse back down and just take you out. So so yeah, be very careful on this one. It's always a risk, and you always risk what you can afford to lose, guys. NASDAQ 100, jumping into that one, and I talked about this level, this 13,882. I said that if we drop below it, and then this could open the door to those lower levels. And also, if you let me just actually put something on the chart here. I think it's gonna be, maybe I can draw it with this one. So we have ourselves a nice, beautiful triangle. Well, this is not very beautiful, but okay, let me stick to the normal lines here. But a broadening triangle pattern here, and yep, look at this amazing formation. And the prevailing trend was to the downside, and we entered this broadening triangle pattern, and yep, the breakout happened, because if we take a look at the cash index right now, the breakout happened to the downside, and yeah, we're now kind of let's say getting a little bit more bearish, and we could see this one drifting further south. Now my next target on this one will be this little level right here, this inside swing high of the 14th of March near the 13,387 area, approximately around there. And if we go lower, we might test that hurdle. Oh, let me get rid of this this line here. It's a little bit in the way, and actually we can redraw this maybe this way. Just bear with me one moment. So yeah, we can do something like this, but in other words, for now, and if we continue to trade below this 13,880 283 zone, approximately around here, then yes, I'll continue aiming lower, and my next target here will be like I said, this 13,387 zone, which is the inside swing high of the 14th of March, or if that gets cleared, certainly it opens up the path towards the lowest point of March, which is approximately around that 13,020 zone, or it's very near that psychological 13,000 mark. But again, let's not rush into anything. For the upside on this one, I would actually prefer to wait maybe for a push of this hurdle, this 14,265 level, and if we do pop above this, then yeah, I may start looking at some higher levels. I'll aim for that 21-day EMA or this 200-day EMA, and then so on and so on. But we'll get to that point if we do get that pop. DXY dollar index, guys. Oh, I need to quickly rush through this because I think I'll run out of time, and I still have something. I still have a few instruments left here. So, in other words, the DXY continues to trade above that psychological 100 zone. It's what I said previously, that initially I'll be aiming for that psychological 100 area. If we manage to reach that, then my next target, what is this one right here, this 100.93 level, and that level marks the high of the 6th of April of 2020, or if I'm not mistaken as well, the highest point of April of 2020, guys. So We are, like I said, we are approaching that area. Can we reach that? We certainly can, of course, but my question here is, can we reach that, and then can we get a hold up around here in order to see maybe a bit of a retracement here back to the downside? But again, let's not over speculate on this one. For now, I'm aiming for that level, and then I'll take it from there. Gold, so continues to push nicely to the upside. Today we're seeing some strong activity, and my next target right now could be somewhere around this 2009 area, marked by the high of the this 10th of March. Slightly above that, I do have this hurdle, this 2015 area, but that's a little bit, let's say, a bit tentative. I mean, because it's the inside swing low of the 7th of August of 2020, and also it did mark it's marking the high of the 18th of August of 2020. So the inside swing low of the 7th of August and the high of the 18th of August. So that was a good resistance barrier previously. I mean, we did violate it here in the beginning of March with this huge spike. So given that, let's say, if the trading activity gets back to normal, and it seems like it did get right now to normal, we might see maybe a test, some sort of maybe a little temporary hold up around here. But at the moment, just if we take a look at this picture, I mean, first of all, a few adjustments need to be done here on the levels for me. We have overcame this highest point of last week near the 1981 zone. We're now kind of, if we continue to trade above this area, then yes, I will be certainly aiming for that psychological 2000 zone, and that 2009 area. Again, at the moment, guys, there are a lot of things to consider here. We did get a kind of a decent up move already, so maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. However, at the moment, it seems like the downside scenario could be slightly off the table, unless it let's say, strongly drifts back below this the high of last week and stays below it. Then maybe we could consider a bit of a move to the upside, to the downside, a bit of a correction lower, because don't forget that we are still trading above this upside line taken from the low the 29th of March. So any move back down towards it could be seen as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. A quick update on WTI Oil. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but it moved nicely here to the upside. It broke this downside line, so we're keeping an eye on it, and it's going to be very interesting to see if we can actually push further, further to the upside here. I will say that this way, that if we pop above this 105.57 level, yes, I'll go for some higher levels. Ethereum is, it's drifting to the downside, and let me get rid of this downside line because it got violated. And now I'm keeping an eye on this upside line right here, taken from the low of the 24th of February. Now, if it provides good hold up, yes, we might see a nice rebound and a push higher. To be honest, for me right now, I would like to consider the upside, but probably I'll wait until we see a push above all of the EMAs here, and then I'll go for some higher levels. For the downside, if we break this upside line, well, this could open the door towards lower levels. AUDUSD, quickly on that one. So look at this, guys. So basically, part of this idea worked out, because initially I was hoping maybe to see a bit of a rebound, but from this hurdle here, but I said that if we clear this area straight away without rebounding, then certainly I will aim for that upside line. Well, we managed to kind of achieve that, and what's interesting here is that currently we are resting near that 61.8% retracement on the Fibonacci, measured from the low of the 15th of March to the high of the 5th of April. So this up move here, we managed to clear that initially, that 38.2, and I said that if we clear that 38.2, then I'll aim for that 50. And as you can see here, it provided fantastic support. I didn't even draw any levels here, and how well this Fibonacci worked out here. And now we're getting a hold up near that 61.8, which is near this upside line. So even if it drift a little bit lower, like I said, I'll keep an eye on the upside line, and if it holds, then yes, a bit of a rebound here could be possible. However, let's not rush into anything, guys. I mean, for me, let's say for the downside, I would like to see a drop below all of the EMAs, and then I will go for some lower levels. AUDCHF, guys, so I'm quite happy with this one because basically it's kind of doing what I was expecting it to do. So last week I talked a lot about this pair, and I said that, well, first of all, let's see if we're gonna get a rebound from this highlighted territory, which is near that 0.6895. We got that rebound. Then I said that, well, let's keep an eye on this 0.70 territory, because if it holds, this could form potentially a right shoulder. At the moment, I'm not saying that it has completed that, because we need a break through the so-called neckline here first in order to get comfortable with lower levels. Certainly, at the moment, it seems like it's working out, but don't forget that we are still above this 21-day EMA. So in a way, it could drift lower, test this 21-day EMA, and then reverse, and then basically, and then push higher, overcome that 0.70 territory, and then kind of we can scrap the whole head and shoulders idea here. So that's why don't rush into anything for now. If you manage to, let's say, capture maybe a move here from the 0.70 territory, great. You have a nice, probably, your stop loss is somewhere on the break even here. Just in case this reverses, to the upside. And of course, like I said, right now, keep your eyes on that 21-day EMA. If we clear that and we drift towards that 0.6895 level, then now that's where the whole excitement could start for these sellers, of course. And then maybe we could see a break of this this so-called neckline, and a move to the downside. But again, let's not rush into anything yet. NZDCAD, quick update. So yeah, this one's working out. So I talked about this pair and 0.8524 level. It's getting violated right now. So yeah, so I'm still aiming for the downside. As long as it stays below this hurdle, I'm going to aim for the downside. My next target is the 0.8407 level here, marked by the low of the 14th of February. USDJPY, I mean, talk about a rocket ship here. I mean, it's it's a one-way traffic right now, and continues to push higher. It cleared that 125.85 zone. I spoke about that level, and looking at the monthly chart here, just very quickly, you can see that we managed to overcome that the highest point of 2015. Now I will say and by the way, just notice this right here. This is where we're currently getting a bit of a hold up near this hurdle, this inside swing low of the actually the lowest point of March of 2002, guys. This is where, yeah, we managed to overcome that area, but we're slightly above that, and let's see if we can drift back down below it. However, there's a bunch of other levels to consider. For example, like the highest point of 2002 near the 135.16, and that, of course, that's still a major kind of area to fill. But now, listen, I'm quite curious what's going to happen with this lowest point of March of 2002. If we're going to continue trading above it or not. Okay, I'll keep that on the chart for now. But anyway, guys, I know that it sounds kind of tempting to go short in this one, but we still have not received our signal, so it might continue, drifting higher. But we're still trading above this steep upside line taken from the low the 7th of March. So, in other words, the upside scenario is not off the table yet. Quick update on US dollar against Mexican peso. I was looking at this pair last week, and I said that, well, keep your eyes on this hurdle right here, this 19.72 level. We rebounded from it. We failed to kind of break below it, because what I said before, that if we drop below this, then this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and more sellers could join in. We had a rebound from that area and pushed higher. Okay, so that's fine, but still I wasn't getting very positive, because for me to get positive, I would like to see maybe a push somewhere above this 20.19 level, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. GBPJPY also pushing nicely to the upside. I mean, look at this, it overcame this highest point of March near the 164.64 level, and again, is also similar as with USDJPY. We're still, you know, trading higher, trading above a steep upside line, and at the moment, guys, it's a bit of a difficult one here to let's say for the sellers. It's a bit of a difficult one for the sellers, and we need to see some sort of confirmation breaks here first before kind of, you know, drifting lower. At the moment, I will continue. I have to continue aiming higher, just because, like I said, we still have not seen our signal yet. For the downs. Euro Aussie, look at this one. This one's very, very interesting. I talked a lot about this pair recently, and there we go. That's quite interesting, because we broke this downside line taken from the high of the 4th of February, and we managed to stay above it. So that's good news. And now it seems that the pair is trying to kind of go maybe for a higher high, but certainly a certain confirmation break here is needed. Like for example, a push above this 1.4689 level, and then a push above that 21-day EMA could also do the trick for a few more buyers. So keep that in mind, guys. Let's see if this can get cleared. At the moment, yes, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but still, as I said, a confirmation break is needed. And finally, EURUSD. We have a bit of a difficult situation here, because of course this one is driven by the US dollar here mainly. I mean, look at this. You can see that we are now falling below this 1.0806 territory. So in other words, I would say that if we stay below this area, then I will continue aiming lower. At the moment, it's looking quite bearish. However, of course, we cannot exclude the option here of maybe seeing a double bottom pattern here. But again, we cannot. At the moment, we will, like I said, be very careful. Maybe if it is a double bottom, then certainly, you know, we could see a nice reversal here. But at the moment, I would just say I'm observing this one. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside, especially, like I said, if DXY continues to you know, get stronger, strengthening. But yeah, at the moment, guys, I mean, like I said, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside on this one. But if by any chance it somehow climbs above this 1.0923 or even 45 level right here, at the same time, it could push above that 21-day EMA. Now that's when I'll get a little bit more excited with the upside, and maybe then I will start considering this to be a, you know, a double bottom pattern. But at the moment, it's just an idea. At the moment, I am leaning towards the downside on this one. So yeah, let's see if we can, you know, go for these levels here. Like for example, the low, the 24th of April of 2020, and the or the lowest point of March near the 1.0636 level right here. So guys, that's it for this session. I'll have to jump off. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes, your comments. That means a lot to me. So also just a quick mentioning that on Friday there won't be any Traders Espresso, but yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all will go as normal. So business as usual. Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.